Welcome back everyone to the Hello World Guide. This is the next episode of our C++ for Beginner series, and in this video we are going to learn basically how to return values from functions. So in the last video we learned how to create our own functions and take arguments and then just use them, but now we need to actually change this void and return a value from the function. So first of all, I'm going to remove the line in the main, and I'm actually going to remove this whole function. Actually not really, I'm going to remove this from the inside, and for instead of naming it greet, I'm going to name it square. So yeah, call it square, and let's just remove all of this. Now the idea is that we will have a program that will take an integer and just basically square it and return it. So in the main method, what we will do is we will see out, and we will ask the user to enter a number. Let's just say enter a number and just put a colon after that, and we are going to create an integer here called, let's say, number, num for short. And what we are going to do now is we are going to go here and we are going to go and use cin to actually get this as a number, or like that. So we are, after getting that number, we are going to say cout, and I'm going to say we are going to also do a slash n after that, but between this we will say first of all we will enter the number, and then we will say number raised to the power of 2, let's say, like that. And then we will say is, and then we can actually put the result here. But for that we obviously need to make our square method work. So we are doing this in a separate method. So how are we supposed to return a value? Last video I showed you that basically you need to use this void, and this is basically means that it will return no value. But if you actually put a type of a variable, like a variable type, it will be just a type. For example, int for integer. If you put that, then you can see it gives an error. The reason is that we are saying it that we will actually the error goes away. But the problem here, which might give you a warning if not an error, is that we are returning an integer, but we are actually not returning any value inside of the function. So in order to return a value, what you do is you need to say return like that, and you just need to say return, and then you need to enter the value that you want to return, and it must be of type whatever you have entered here. And in here the type is integer, so I will say return 0. So like after having that done, we can go down here, and we can actually, for now, let's just say we are going to go ahead and say square, and you can see it automatically fills the thing, and you can press tab to actually do autocomplete. And and we are going to put this here, and for the x value we are just going to say the num number that we have got. So how are we supposed to actually return a value other than 0 here? For that you need to kind of figure out what value you want to return. Since we are squaring, we just want to take x, we want to multiply it, and you do that by adding the star and then multiply it by itself. So that's basically what we are doing here. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now let's try to start and see how well it works. So for let's see, it's starting. I will be taking a little bit of time for some reason. Okay, it does. So let's just say something like 5, and you can see it says 5 raised to the power of 2 is 25. So 5 squared is 25. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. So now we've got our program working, and in here you can see now that I'm going to also show you how to return a value from the main. So if you don't return any value from main, then it automatically returns 0, but you can also return another value here, which is 1. So let's say we've returned the 1 value, and let's start. Then you can see it should say that whatever value, it should say that the exited with code 1. And if I, for example, if I exit with the number, then what you should see is that if you can actually start without debugging by pressing this button, we should start faster. I'm going to say 88, and you can see it says that exited with code 88. And if I put 568, let's say, you can see it says exited with code 568. So whatever value we return in here is going to be the code that we exit with. Now normally you should always return 0, because 0 means that your program worked correctly, and if you return any other value that 0, then it means that your execution failed, and you need to kind of have that number kind of specifies why it failed. So you can have a documentation specifying all of the numbers. So yeah, this was pretty much it for this video. In this video we learned how to return values from function. In the next video I'm planning on getting an early start into object-oriented programming, so stay tuned for that, and make sure to like and subscribe and share this video with as many people as you can, and I will see you in the next one, and bye.